All right, y'all. Bearder Bros Golf Show. Back at it again. I am Rod. How are
I'm
y'all?
Marcus.
The last show. No. We have
We
one
got
more
one
before
more.
the end of the year. We'll do more of a wrap up then. Just kind of hit it real quick this week, see what's happening. Shout out to the early comers. Long time follower Andy Holt. Just want to wish you guys a Merry Christmas early. This was like midday, 12:45. Has been awesome to watch the channel grow. Look forward to continuing to watching it continue to do the same in 2025. Shout out to
Thank you,
Andy.
Andy.
What up, Jack? Welcome back,
What up,
sir.
Mike?
And Michael Wilson. Welcome in, y'all. All right. We'll hit on some easygoing stuff. I'll readily admit, talking about the showdown from last week with Rory McIlroy, Scotty Scheffler versus uh,
Brooks and
Brooks
Bryce.
Koepka and Bryson was on the show agenda. Did I watch it? No. I had it recorded, didn't get a chance to watch it in real time, and
It did
then
sting.
after seeing some clips, I just honestly wasn't that intrigued by it. I know you got to see more than I did in terms of the highlights. Break it down. What'd you think?
Yeah, so they did three sixes. So in theory, it should have been a lot more to do about it. Like it should have been a lot more exciting. But I mean, when three out of the four guys have no personality, really, it's just not going to be a fun situation. The golf was ho hum. It wasn't like scintillating. Nobody really just went out and above. I felt like honestly, Rory probably was the best player and showed it. Brooks, nothing to talk about. Scotty, couple of shots here and there. Bryson could not make a putt. Yeah, truly. Now I guess the more you get to know Scotty, he probably is a little bit better. But yeah, I felt like Scotty was really just kind of like in the background. Rory really led the show. They swept. It wasn't even a question. I
Yeah, that's what I
mean,
heard. That it was
yeah, none of the
very one
sessions were
sided.
closed. Yeah, none of the
Was
sessions were closed.
did Brooks Koepka look disinterested in being there? That it was like more of an obligation than anything?
Yes, but I mean that's pretty much everything that's not a major for him. So that wasn't that that was pretty normal. He looked like Brooks to me. I'm sorry. Yeah, he looks like Brooks to me.
Okay.
Um, I will say the format was pretty decent. First one was, best ball. Second one was alternate shot. Then last one was solos. But Brooks versus Scotty, snooze, wasn't anything to talk about. And then freaking what's his face?
Appreciate that, Ryan.
Rory pretty
Thank you
much
so much.
Rory pretty much dominated Bryson. I mean, they had to make a putt on like the third or fourth to keep the match going. It was
It was a
uh,
snooze fest. Yeah,
yeah,
I do want to, one of the things, knowing that it was kind of boring and hearing that, seeing that from what I did see, I was thinking about what could be done to improve that experience, because I think we were talking about after the fact that I remember going back to the first one, that with when they kind of reintroduced this concept with Tiger and Phil,
yeah,
and it was during the day. Which, thank you for bringing this up. This is one of the things that I hated. Um, Michael,
yep,
thank you for bringing this
agreed.
one up. Watching golf under the lights, the last few iterations of this has been horrible. I hate seeing it. Put it in the daytime. The one with
Yep,
Tiger and Phil was meant to finish and then complete in the daytime, and they ended up having to improvise. They turned the lights on, and just really had to make something happen because they ran out of daylight. It was a
yep,
much better experience to me. Golf under the lights is kind of lame. It feels manufactured. Look, I don't even give a damn if it's tape delayed. If we're not seeing it in real time, that doesn't bother me. Or in the same way that kind of the setup for the Phil and Tiger situation was the day after Thanksgiving.
right.
And I know that I remember them struggling with getting the streaming set up. But, most of us were at home. Our routine is to do a Friday, match after Thanksgiving, and then we were at home and able to watch it, and it was perfect. So that to me was a really great setup. I don't know why they have abandoned that. I don't know, but lights and golf don't go together. That's one thing that I would just eliminate right off the bat. What would
Yeah.
you improve?
I mean, I'm reading chat and the guys really, I mean, they're really spitting right now. First of all, Jack, I'm with you here. I mean, seriously, I'm all for when Brooks is playing well and we're all aboard, but when he doesn't care and he's just trying to be the cool guy that just shows up for majors, how long can that last? And it's not going to be very much longer, especially with the live not really gaining much traction. They need that merger to come back, so he needs to play some regular golf again. Otherwise, I mean, I don't know what's going on for him. Michael, I love that, bro. Seriously, when you got to come out your own pocket, not this crypto stuff, not this going to a charity stuff, and this is just mano a mano. We gonna put, and it's got to be something worth talking about. These
Yeah.
guys are all multi-millionaires, millions pretty much invested at least on their some form. So I think you got to go at least 500K, something like that. You
Well, I
know what
think
I'm
this
saying?
is, with them announcing last week also the return of the skins game. This is a way to do that. But again, I kind
Right.
of, what you said is that it's not going to be their own money, right? I think that's what makes it kind of gritty if, if they had some skin in the game and had something to lose behind it versus, the corporate sponsorships. And to be real, I think this is why YouTube golf, even though I don't watch YouTube golf. I'm not a good fan. That's just not my thing. I mean, I can go play with my boys and get that same experience, right? The
Yeah.
camaraderie, etc., all that jazz. I'm not entertained by YouTube golf, but I understand why there's a market for it and why it's blown up over the last 5 years, where people are
Yeah.
more interested in seeing the personalities from those type of guys, Busta Jack, Good, the Bryan Bros. Even though we found out the Bryan Bros are some hoes, with that
Wow.
stuff with Roger Steele. Hell, if Roger Steele started getting really big into
He's got a couple of
YouTube,
course logs now. He's got a couple of YouTube golf situations. He
you know,
played, he had a big match. He had a big 10K match where somebody put up the money for him to play and they played at Atlanta Athletic Club or something like that.
okay,
One of those clubs, local Houston guy flew out by the golf guys or something like that. One of Houston's kind of
okay,
YouTube sponsors and stuff like that. And then Roger, he got plenty of plugs
his
to
swag.
sponsor his brand. Yeah,
But
it was a pretty
part
fun. It was a pretty fun deal.
part of the reason why I think they mentioned it right in the chat that the smug attitudes and just I'm just showing up because I'm obligated to be here for whatever reason. It's not this interest, it's that bullshit that they were talking about growing the game that
Yeah,
we all called it. We were like, shut up. You're not trying to grow anything. You're trying to grow your bank accounts. Don't call me a hater. Go grow your bank account, do your thing, take care of your family for life, create generational wealth. All that's all good, but you
right.
don't have to necessarily lose your whole personality behind that, right? I don't think Brooks was
Agreed.
ever really good in this scenario. Bryson, while he has gotten much better over the last year, we've seen him grow as a human being. I still feel those same feelings of dislike. I can't fully get over it. I don't hate him with a passion, but I'm
Yeah,
also like not some fan kid about him, like that's
it's still very fake. It's still very guided.
yeah. We are Rory, fans, but when it comes to Scheffler, he's not a TV guy. He's not the
Right.
big personality. He's very wholesome, very white bread, no crust. uh Scotty's just not that guy that's gonna, you know, talk noise openly and be aggressive. Again, just feels very wholesome and down to earth, but not really made for TV. So I don't know what formula they need to figure out to do this. I think bringing some different names into it, catching the wave, finding hopefully a new star, a couple of new stars this year. I do think the skins game will again bring a little extra energy to it, but I'm very tired of the current format that we've been seeing. But it sounds like they tried to mix it up with the different, you know, thirds of the course. But
Yeah.
you can try stuff and see how it comes across. But ultimately, the personalities are what sell the product.
What do you think about this? What do you think about kind of like an Iron Chef type deal? You got a Corn Ferry guy going up against a PGA pro, and if he beats the PGA pro, he gets a card. They just do this once a year at the end of the season, and they make it like a PGA sanctioned event, whether it's either
I feel
bread or
you.
not.
I feel you, but I'm gonna cut you off. I
I'm
feel where
just
you're
I'm just
going.
trying to put I'm just trying to
You
put
tell
put
you
put it
tell
on
me.
the line.
No, no, no. But tell me a pro that's willing to put their game on the line to be embarrassed,
No,
right?
not the PGA Pro. This is all for like the Corn Ferry Tour
But
to
you said
get
they're
a
going. You said they're going up against a PGA professional, like a current PGA player, right?
yeah. But if this is like I said, this is an Iron Chef thing because in the Iron Chef, if the Iron Chef loses, he's not no longer an Iron Chef. It's the same
No,
thing. The PGA
no, no, no,
Tour is not
no.
losing.
No, I get you, but no player is gonna want to see. Let's say they go out there and get killed, like they just take them behind the woodshed. Whether it's match play or something like that. I think the egos are too big in the game, bro. That's what I'm saying. Like matching that up with somebody who actually we want to watch play with, the possibility of them getting their ass
And
kicked.
their ego's not that big. They already are on the
Shit.
tour.
Shoot.
They have nothing to
Shoot.
lose.
All right, man.
It's a payday, and if they lose, the Corn Ferry Tour gets a PGA Tour card.
Book it for those that say we never disagree. We're disagreeing right here because I like the concept, but in the reality and the execution of that, I don't think it can happen. But they need to figure something out. Because again, I don't know, man. The TV game, the TV aspect of golf is we've talked. I mean, I get it. Like I've never been one of those where it's like, oh my god, the commercials are killing the game, and we don't want to. I mean, they got to pay their bills, so I understand commercials. Um, I like the Masters extended coverage, etc. Like especially during majors or whatnot. But these extra events to garner more attention. We talked about how successful the Grant Thornton was. The PNC, which we'll get to here in a little bit, was very good. I was actually locked into that. It was actually good stuff. Has been for the last several years. But again, we need to figure out the extra stuff. But again, I like more mixed events to me is the key. But we'll see. We'll see what they do next year, and if we're able to get out of this kind of rut we've been in. Um, just as kind of we talk about the TV stuff, apparently a deal might be impending between Liv and Fox. Who knows? I don't. I saw one article about it. Haven't seen anything else progress since then. But going into 2025, 2 months out, Live Golf does not have a TV deal on the table. So we'll see where that
I
goes
mean, put
going
them on
forward.
Fox News. Nobody watches that shit anyways.
No, it would fit, right? It would fit. You want to get into the PNC?
Thanks, Jack. Yeah, 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 yeah. Okay.
All right, PNC, y'all. So we know that's the thumbnail for the week. We have long been Bernhard Langer haters. Because
Cheaters.
the man is still anchoring, and I'm gonna pull my screen up because it's super clear what anchoring is at this point. Um, let's see if it'll let me present, share my screen. All right. So this little blurb came from back when this rule was, you know, instituted about no longer anchoring. And what's acceptable on the left hand side, traditional grip, long putter. This little section in the middle, long putter, not anchored. You can see this clearly being a more vertical shaft and away from the player's body. Slide right on over. This is a drawing, but you can't tell me this isn't Bernhard Langer. I mean, the man
cheating.
on that putt that he hit to win in the playoff yesterday, when he pulled the putter away from his chest, there was an indentation where his thumb was in his chest.
Cheating.
Why is this still being allowed? I am so frustrated. The rule is very, very clear on what anchoring is, and
Yeah.
Bernhard Langer is all of that. I just don't know how on the Champions Tour no one said anything, no one's checked him, and I'm not some traditionalist. We're not traditionalists. I think I can speak for both of us when we say that. Is that I mean, if there's a rule, follow the GD rule.
Yeah.
It's kind of the same thing about timed play and slow play. Like put people on the clock, and if they aren't able to maintain the
Then no
pace,
one says.
penalize them. A stroke. It gets. I guarantee you, it'll be fixed. Right? You enforce the
Yeah.
rule. So one thing that I said, thinking about this, is that we've been bitching about the ball rollback. With the fact that they won't enforce rules that are clearly on the books, um, I'm
Right.
kind of not very confident that they're going to enforce the ball rollback. Who's going to check it? So let me pull up this other video from Instagram, just kind of showing Mr. Longer um, anchoring here. So this is straight from Instagram. So this is the perfect. Look at that hand, man, straight against the chest.
I'm
It's
just
just
glad. Look at the. I'm just the back. It was so perfect because in the background and when you watched it, there was hardly anybody cheering. Nobody wanted to see them win. It was, oh,
yeah.
yeah,
We all wanted to
woo.
see we all wanted to see Team Woods get the win, man.
Yeah. After a hole in one, Charlie should have got that. Charlie should have got that. But yeah, man. Um, they were so mad about Keegan Bradley anchoring his putter on his stomach. Bro, it's the same thing. It's very clearly attached, bro. Like, I
Yeah,
don't get it. But
but
I
that
mean,
also go ahead.
but I mean, we're gonna get into it because there was other instances where Bernhard Langer is definitely exploiting.
The
So
rules. So
yeah,
let me see if I can pull it up. Um, you sent this to me, so credit to you. This is on Zyre Golf, which of course they're super known in the Instagram world. Again, another one from Instagram. So this is in a bunker.
this is
The Zoom.
wild. It's wild to even see. Sorry to cut you off, but just look at this shit. It is
It's,
literally teed up. How do you allow somebody to go in there and make sandcastles and then play golf out of there? Are we
I,
on the beach or are we on a golf course, bro?
I feel
What?
with this level of Zoom, they're trying to get at him like Matt Kuchar, right? I mean, for a
Right.
while, the golf game was very complicit with Matt Kuchar's antics, but this year, I think people got exhausted. I think with Bernard Langer, the patience is starting to wear out. Is the man damn near 65? Yes, but I think people are getting tired of the bullshit. So let's see him hit off of this. I mean, perfect, right? It's
Look
like
at
a
that.
little
Middle.
perfect tee, right? Just sitting right up out of the bunker, taking the scramble rules so damn far. And then, of course, I don't love Dan Rappaport, but this next slide just talks about him teeing it up, from the forward tees when he's averaging 275 off the tee box this year. And that's him coming off of a ruptured Achilles. So he's hitting in front of Charlie Woods.
Yeah.
Um, Super ridiculous, man. I'm the fix was in. I don't know how
Truly.
I don't know how they allowed. I mean the publicity around a Woods win would have been really significant, right? It would have been a
Right.
feel good story. We've seen Charlie grow up in this event since 2020. We've seen him grow taller, get stronger, and they played really well this week. We saw the hole in one from Charlie early on in the round. And yes, the Longers were going back and forth. His son actually is, pretty good golfer as well. So it wasn't all just him. But when it comes to the shenanigans, Bernard's right there, man, just guffing it up.
Yeah.
Frustrating. Frustrating.
Very. Yeah. Very. I mean, I don't have anything else to add on besides he a cheating ass motherfucker. I mean, I don't. I'm sorry.
The language, Mom, if you're
I'm
watching,
sorry.
I'm sorry for on
No,
his behalf.
she's at the Mavs game. She's at the
That's
Mavs game.
true. That's
Thankfully,
true. Yeah, shout out to my
don't have to
mom.
worry about that filter. Shout out to her and her season ticket holder. But yeah, man. I just they just choose what battles to fight because clearly we not fighting against Langer and he been doing this foolery for a while now. But the
Yeah.
Woods look good. I mean, Tiger said what he said in the interviews, and he's still rusty. This isn't competitive. This was to see Charlie, put him on display, and then him, clutch up every now and again. I mean, he almost did it on 17. 17. I mean, well, his putter wasn't really high. Charlie was making the majority of the putts. But Tiger, he was right at the flag on 17 on that par three. He almost put it away there. So if
Yeah.
they would have went birdie birdie, they would have won by one. We wouldn't even have to worry about the playoff. But yeah, man, just good to see Tiger playing.
Walking
Walking,
too.
did not even use a crutch of a cart. So it was just really refreshing to see. So maybe past shows, Rod will tell you, I have already said this. Tiger once a month is good enough for me. That's 12 events. We're not going
So
to
what do
see it,
you?
but in theory, that would be great. I'm telling you,
So
eight
let's
to 10,
let's look at
8 to
this.
10
Let's
events.
look, let's look at the schedule. When do you think the
Yeah.
first time we'll see Tiger? So let's just I'll go through the weeks real quick. Through the first couple months. So we have the
Okay.
Century coming up next week, January 2nd through the 5th. Then the Sony Open, the American Express, the Farmers is January 22nd through 25th.
No,
Um, AT&T
he no longer can
Pebble
walk
Beach.
Tory. Nope, he can't walk Pebble.
Okay. Waste Management first week in February.
Nope. Genesis.
You think we'll see him Genesis, which is the following week?
Yes, it's an elevated event. He'll get a sponsor's exemption. Plus, it's his event,
Yeah,
non-cut, no
true.
real, no real ploy in it for him. He'll play, and then the next time we'll see him will be the Masters. So he'll have a whole month and a half to rest and recoup and really grind on what he needs to work on, which will, in my eyes, be his putter and his touch. Because I,
Do you
as
think
much as we like,
he? Well, let me ask you this: do you think since the players has been moved up, which is in March, then that gives him almost a full month? So the player starts on March 13th, and then the Masters is
when's the
April
Masters?
10th. April 10th. Do you think
Okay,
he
I
tries
could
to
see
get
that.
into the players?
Yes,
Okay.
past champion status. Yeah, he's won it twice. I don't
Yeah,
know
I
if
mean,
his I don't know if his exemption has expired or if it does expire
they'll
with the
always give
players.
him an exemption.
Yeah,
They'll make a way, just the way they did in the U.S. Open this year.
yeah,
So I don't know. I'm optimistic after seeing him walk. He's still got a little bit of a limp in his gait, but the back looked good. That's that one
yeah,
surgery that he had this year, and he seems to be healing up quite well from that. So that's always the biggest concern is how quickly does he recover? He's going to be
yeah.
49 here at the end of the month on December 30th. Um, so I don't know. I'm optimistic.
He
Good to
plays a
see the
fade
passion.
now.
He's
He
been
plays a
playing the
fade
fade.
now, so his body is ahead of his arms. So
Yeah, I
it's
mean
not
he's been
like he's army
he's been
swinging.
I know he's been made that adjustment to the fade. I mean that's been since the back problem started coming around, and maybe there were hints. When we always questioned him making swing changes, maybe there are always kind of signs in his mind that the back was starting to go, and that's why
Mhm.
he always said, "Hey, let me make some adjustments before we get there." So, he was on the forefront of the weightlifting. He pushed his body to the limits, and clearly at 49, still in great shape. Still looks good for a man of his age. So we'll see.
Yeah,
He's no John Daly.
right.
I don't know if you saw that a little Instagram with John Daly's warm up routine. Man hit like one driver and was
He
like,
said
"Let me
that's
go to the
enough.
putting green." He said that is a no. I guess he caught center of the club face and
Did you hear John Daly the second kiddo?
what talking about he's there too early or earliest you've
Yeah,
ever seen him.
yeah.
Yeah.
He said yeah. Tea time's not for another hour, and so you too early, bro. What you
I
got
guess
going
he was
on?
I guess he was trying to slam some Diet Cokes and smoke a few squares before he got out there.
That's his new
That's his
vice. Them Diet Cokes, cause he not drinking.
but
Mm.
shout out to John Daly. Um, a few other little things I want to hit on. So we kind of hit the PGA schedule. I think, man, early season, it's crazy how quickly, when we start talking about the Waste Management Phoenix Open, that means end of football season, Super Bowl coming up.
Right.
The things are coming so fast and furious, and there's no breaks in the PGA schedule. Once they start back, they're full bore. They don't let up. I really love the early season events on the PGA Tour. So I think the first few months are really good, and that lead up to the Masters, um, pretty dang amazing to be real.
Yeah.
We'll see the live season get started in February. So, I don't think they've made a big hullabaloo about what their schedule is going to look like. Again, TBD on the TV deal. I'm still kind of holding out hope, not hope, but that there's going to be some version of a merger before then as well. The ladies, they're a different story, and we experienced this last year as well, or 2024 this year. They're coming back this week for their tournament of champions in Lake Nona, and then they're off for a whole month after that point.
Ugh.
So that's been their schedule the last couple of years, and it's unfortunate that they have that big gap. But
It's so dumb.
we're gonna get the gentlemen out there, and they're gonna be back at it full time. But it's weird that they do their tournament of champions versus just taking a full month off and then doing it at the end of January. I don't know if I'd prefer that to be, just that would be my preference rather than play and then have a whole month off. But
Do they play? It's saying that theirs is January 30th.
what do you mean for the ladies? For the
Yeah, their tournament of champions, the Hilton Grand
oh, you know
Vacation.
what? I'm stupid. I guess that is what they're doing. Okay, my bad. My bad. You're right. It is January 30th.
Because Nelly made a post and was like, "Yeah, this is a fun way to end it." Had a lot of laughs and stuff, like a little IG post.
I totally misread that. I'm thinking December 30th in my head. So I was like, they're going to be playing over New
Okay.
Year's, but that totally makes sense. Yeah, we have no New Year golf. I was also looking at the DP World Tour schedule as well, and they're off for a little bit. They're taking this week off, next week. They're back with a team event when they restart on the DP World Tour, and then they're actually going to have a pretty good crowd. I think it's the third week in January. They have a $9 million purse planned in Dubai, so I
Yeah, that's one
anticipate.
of their first weeks.
Yeah,
Yeah, he'll be there.
I anticipate Rory getting out there, starting off the race to Dubai. With the $9 million purse is pretty damn good. Um, so we're gonna get some names. Hopefully, we get some PGA guys migrating over there as well. Even though it's competing with not the
Wow.
farmers, but what is that week? That's gonna be them competing with the American Express. So we'll see. But I'm pretty sure Rory will be over there. And now that the live guys have been cleared on the DP World Tour, we're probably going to see Rom as well. So pretty decent opening season tourney for the DP World Tour.
8,000 total race to Dubai points.
Yep, it's
2,000
legit.
Ryder Cups. This is their one of their elevated events, I'm guessing.
Yeah, I guess that's you're just implementing that concept all around the world. So sweet deal.
See.
John
Wow.
Perry, how much of the DP World Tour in Mauritius did you watch? Very windy.
Absolutely none.
I watched
Absolutely
it.
none. But
I watched it
I
because I like to
tried.
see. Yeah, I mean there weren't many big names, and although I secretly cheer for Eddie Pepperell, so he had a pretty good go at it
He
early
did.
on in
He's a
the
very
tournament.
funny guy. That's an
Yeah,
actual personality, fellas and ladies. That is a personality that you could get behind. All his DP World 2 clips, hilarious. The
yeah.
anger management stuff with Tyrrell, I mean, that was gold.
These are good questions, and these are ones that I was thinking about since it's a light week. So, Jack, players to
Yeah.
watch for next year.
In
Um,
what?
I huh? Let's go each one. So, PGA, my
No, let's work our
players
way up.
to
Let's do mini tours. Let's do the Live mini tour,
dude,
and then
shut
let's
up.
go up to the PGA. I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah,
My
shut
fault.
up. PGA Tour, my guy who I love, and you kind of saw a preview of it, is Jake Knapp. I think he's gonna win twice this year. I just love the kid's game, smooth, long. I think getting a win early last year, and something about that course where he won at Vedanta, it's one where people like repeat. So
Yeah.
I'm looking for him to play well again this year. Find his way. I'm trying to think of somebody else. Um, who's somebody who you're looking for to have a good year?
Well, first of all, let's just call it what it is. Jake Knapp with a perfect. I mean, his swing is so smooth, and a last name like Knapp, like you really could just be nap time, because his swing will put you to sleep. It's that smooth. It's that
It
rhythmic.
is smooth.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's really enjoyable to watch. I mean, then he has the cutoff follow. He has the full follow. I mean, it's all just juicy. Um, I want to see. I mean, we talked about it at the end of the season. Um, I want to see the resurgence of JT. I definitely feel like, because again, like we said, beginning of the season for PGA Tour, they're definitely going to have some time for the young guys to get their shine, but some of the returning vets, they're going to want to get their juices flowing. So, I think we'll see JT at the American Express again,
Hmm.
and then we'll see him at the Farmers, and then he might take a week, and he might not even do the waste management, but he says he always enjoys the waste
He
management,
plays
and
it.
then
Yeah, he's always a
then it's an
late commit.
elevated event. Um, Not saying that I'm cheering for or like looking for positivity out of this guy, but again, Jordan Spieth, I want to see what he's going to do off of this wrist surgery. Is that really what was hindering his game? Is
Nah.
that
His
really?
no. It was the swing changes. That's what's been
I
hindering his
know,
game.
right? I'm just saying.
Okay, I don't do
It's
devil's
just,
advocate. I don't do a devil's advocate. So another one that I'm looking for is Ludwig Aber. I think the kid is also amazing. Just a repeatable, zero zero swing. Very few things that can go wrong. I think he's going to step up and get a either win big, win multiple tournaments this year, or compete very well in a major. I I just think that he was really close this year. I think after the U.S. Open letdown, um, we didn't see the best part of the second half of the season from him, but I think he's got big game. He's my other
I
guy I'm looking
think,
for.
yeah, I think we need another year out of him. But I think at the end of the year, I think he's going to perform for the Ryder Cup. I think he's either going to be a pick or he's got enough points. But I think that's when he's going to start his little swing and his little momentum going into 2026. I think the Ryder Cup is where he's going to turn up after the playoffs. I think he'll get to like top 50 type deal. I don't know if he'll make it all the way to the tour championship, but I definitely think that he will put on for Europe and stuff like that. I think he'll have that in the back of his mind because I mean, he's one of the few players to make it out of Sweden and actually have something to say about being a premier golfer out in the world. Besides,
For the men, for the men.
yeah,
I mean, what is the guy with the exaggerated practice swing? Um, damn it.
Alex Noren, he's not making it.
Yes. No. But I mean, the ladies from
I was
Sweden do
gonna
very well.
say Henrik Stenson.
Whatever.
Yeah, he alone
And
now, but he was still really good. But
another question. I think good question,
nobody.
Jack. I don't think Scotty will win as prolifically as he did this year. I mean, this was a magical season, right? A lot of stuff happened for him this year, both personally and off the course. Off the course, he had a kid, which always kind of focuses your mind in on just the future and what your goals are. And then, of course, the arrest at the PGA Championship, that was crazy. Um, I think after that point, we started seeing a little more of Scotty, the human being. He started opening up a little bit more because he had to, and got cameras shoved in his face and had to answer some tough questions about it. But
Yeah.
in terms of winning, I do think this is the year that he gets another major that is not the Masters. I think he wants to check that box because he's gotten two Masters now. You don't want to get kind of pegged as that guy who that's. Do you want to be Bubba Watson? Clearly, he's better than Bubba Watson ever could dream to be, right? But
Yeah.
that's his claim to fame, right? Those two Masters, is what we know Bubba Watson for. And yes, that course sets up very well for certain players. I I think he wants to challenge himself to get that, but I don't think he's going to win 7 tournaments again
Well,
this year.
okay, question. Do you think that the players is important?
Yes and no. I say yes because it's prestigious and a lot of really good players have won the Players Championship, but it's also been a mixed bag, right? You don't have to be some
Yeah.
superstar to win a Players Championship. So we've seen players come from all over and get that thing. Sometimes it can be a bit fluky, right? So a couple of, the 2 years ago, 3 years ago, when it was very cold, rain delays, and Cam Smith ended up winning it. It felt fluky
Yeah.
that year, you
Hmm.
know, like it was just like battle of attrition versus who was able to kind of take over the course. I would really like to see them. I wouldn't mind if they did something similar to the LPGA and just, I know they call it the unofficial fifth major, but just go
Just
ahead and
made it to.
call it, but
Yeah, I get it, but also like I would prefer that too. But you know how they are. That's one of the most traditional things that they do is make sure that it's because the Grand Slam and there's only been 7 people that ever did it, and nobody's done it in the same year. So they're really going to try to hold on to that for dear life. Even though I think they should go ahead and make the players the fifth major. But I'm going through the schedule and I'm just sitting here thinking, if Scotty's gonna win and it's not the Masters, I don't know if it's gonna be the Open. Royal Portrush, one of the courses they don't play very often.
yeah,
Then you go to the US Open Oakmont. I think Oakmont he'd have a decent chance. He gets off the tee well, he plays a
bro,
fade.
I'm telling you that seeing him in person a couple weeks ago, the ball striking is never left him. So I think any course where shot making is at a premium, which we know US Opens are, I
Mhm.
think he's got a chance. And I love
Yeah,
his ability to focus in, and I think he's just found the zone where
yeah,
he can will himself into playing well. I mean, think about all the top tens, the top fives. I mean, I think the first, I forget what the stat is, but he wasn't outside the top 20 for several tournaments. Like he just was always there this
Yeah,
year, and I think he can continue that and turn up when he needs to. Um, Before
yeah,
we
and then
move
the
on,
PGA.
go ahead.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and then the PGA is
where's the
Quail
PGA
Hollow.
playing?
Quail Hollow.
Yeah.
It ain't happening.
Okay, so
Not the
so
way Rory's played there. He's won there 3 times. He's won
that's a good
at Quail
question.
Hollow.
So will
And
Rory get another
then
major? The monkey on his back has grown into a gorilla. I think if
he get
Rory's gonna do it, Quo
I'm
Hollow
not
is his
worried.
best chance.
I mean, or Royal Portrush. It's literally in Northern Ireland. It's
I get
literally
that.
it's
I
gonna be
get
a
it,
home
but
game. So he's either gonna come out firing and beat everybody to death, or he's gonna lay a dud because he's at the crib. But he's done this before. He's won the Irish Open before. He's won it in front of a home crowd, and then he's also missed the cut and played terribly. But
yeah.
I don't know. They're playing in Philly in the Truist Championship. It's just an elevated event, and then the PGA is the very next week. Rory's gonna have all the momentum, and then going into a course he absolutely loves. I mean, loves. Now
I,
I get it. Scotty's gonna be pretty untouchable, and I don't know, man.
I feel like to me it's Scotty's season game to lose. I just think the kid's that good.
Yeah, I
Um
mean, we're in the Scotty era for sure.
yeah. Um Jack, I agree with you typically on Quo Hollow, but I think they usually set it up a little bit different than they do for the normal tour stops. So it's gonna look a little bit different than what we typically see from Quail Hollow during the
Yeah,
regular
that's why they
season.
skipped it this year. They played it.
The last year.
They played that event somewhere else in North Carolina to set it up different.
Yeah.
Um,
Um just let's skip over to the ladies real quick. LPGA. I know Nelly had an amazing early season. She didn't she didn't really finish the season strong. We saw her struggle the second half of the year, including the
yeah,
US Open. So I mean, it's hard to back up seasons like that from both her and Scotty. And I think her game is a little more inconsistent than Scotty. Who do you look for from the LPGA to have a decent season?
I think. Well, first of all, Patty won in Thailand at the crib. I think she's gonna bounce back. I think she's gonna do a lot better. I'm also looking for. You know who I'm looking for? I'm looking for Rosane to have a little season on her. Get rid of this school stuff. I'll go ahead and finish that up. I think she's going to do what needs to be done. She's probably
Okay.
on like her last little semester or last
Okay.
couple of semesters. She's in senior year. You know how they do. She don't really got nothing to do but paper. She's not going to get her master's. She's not going to grad school. So I think Rosane going to have another year on her. Um,
I think Gino Physical is going to have a big year as well. She finished the year. I mean, she had a couple wins this year, but she also finished strong.
yeah,
So I'm
she's
looking for
scary to
her.
me.
Yeah.
I mean, you talk about you don't. I mean, after the after the tour championship, I don't know if you want to see her coming. To be honest, I don't know
Yeah.
if you want to see her in the rear view because she gonna be coming up quick, and it ain't, and she not stopping. She gonna keep going.
Yeah. I
Um,
think she's a big talent and is going to have a big year. I think Nelly will sneak up again. They have those five majors, right? So there's a lot of
yeah,
opportunity where I think she'll get another one. I think Nelly will get another major this year. Um, you know, Lydia Ko also kind of on in the latter half of her career. We know she's in the final stretch. She said, "Hey, I'm not going beyond this period." She's got 3 4 more years to play. I think we're going to
yeah,
see really good things out of her after her incredible year, winning the gold medal, winning the Open Championship. Lydia Ko is also primed for another good year. She seems to be like just social media is not everything, but she seems to be the happiest we've seen her as a professional athlete, as an adult, living her
Yeah,
life, married. She looks genuinely happy and has a plan for her life. So I'm super happy for her. And I think it's translating into her game and her focus. Now that she's into the Women's Hall of Fame, the toughest Hall of Fame to get into in golf, that there's a lot of obstacles that she was able to clear this year that I think now that she's just got an open runway to have a heck of a season in 2025.
yeah. I mean, I think it goes without saying, kind of like the Nelly, Charlie Hull, really right there. I mean, you just can't even really just
It
diminish what she did in the Solheim Cup and how
if
she finished the year.
we just got to keep Georgia Hall away from Charlie Hall, and I think she'll be okay.
Listen, chat. For some strange reason, Rod thinks that Georgia Hall and Charlie Hull have something going on.
No. Don't misconstrue. I think Charlie is that's my best friend. George is like, I want us to be more than friends. Look, the record's there. It's known that Georgia Hall is for the ladies, and Charlie is an attractive lady. So I'm just saying, bro.
She
I'm
talked
just
about she got
saying.
her boyfriend.
Again, the tough breakup. George is there, a shoulder to lean on and
You
catch his heart.
ridiculous.
I'm just saying, shit happens, bro. I'm just saying, sometimes stuff
The BFF
happens.
is gonna swoop in.
Cause she's always right there, bro. I saw a picture today that from Instagram with them together. So anyway, bro. What other randomness can we get
Unreal.
in?
Thank you, Jack. Please.
What else can we get into today?
I
Football's
like.
been
I mean, we not
go
gonna.
ahead.
We not. I mean, Max Homa. I want to see Max Homa do well. We got to go back and revisit that, Jack. I agree. I want Max to have him a little bounce back. You right. Besides the Masters, he really did not do much of anything. Um, I will say that he had a great Twitter year.
I was gonna say he's a Hall of
He
Fame
flamed
on social media.
he flamed the hell out some folks. I mean, ooh, he was going at them. They asked for it
Yeah,
though. But
and
yeah,
he's also he's also very self deprecating. That's why I love Max.
right.
He's just a good dude overall.
I mean, we're talking about pretty swings. He got one of them. I mean, he that thing is that's legit, man.
It's buttery.
Yeah,
It's super
it's
buttery.
buttery. Yeah. Um. Yeah. Speaking of self-deprecating, Joel Damon needs to go ahead and solidify his. He, it would just be crazy if he did it on a fun event. Like if he did it on a waste management or something like that. I mean, I think that would just be picture perfect for bro.
Yeah,
Then him and his caddy could go get super trashed in old Scottsdale and then have them a time. Oh, for sure.
yeah, yeah,
Get them into a few elevated events, set up his schedule, get that,
yeah.
that bread rolling in, not just Travis
Go-
Matthew and PXG and
We
stuff.
we all know golf is a
Right.
tough sport, right? Golf is so tough, and it just takes a couple of. We're always like a couple of bad swings away from feeling like we've completely lost our way, and I feel like that's
Hmm.
where Joel is. As talented as he is, like he just not been able to make putts when it's mattered, to just score and kind of get over the hump. So I'm rooting for him just as a human being. Yeah, and his caddy Gino also seems like a really good dude, right? He's been in Joel's corner. I'm sure he could get on anybody's bag out there just from a personality standpoint. Knows
Yeah.
his stuff. But it's cool that he's stuck with him and then they've kept that partnership together. Even though
Yeah.
on the full swing from, the first season, it felt like that was real tumultuous and it felt like they may be on the outs at some points seeing them in the background. So I'm glad they've been able to stick it out. And, I think Joel being able to keep his card, be on a redemption back, bounce back. I think he'll take advantage of it for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, he was leading the year at the country club. Speaking of courses that we wanted that we like, right? He was the year that Fitzpatrick won it for the US Open or whatever. He
Which is
was
a
leading
tough
that year at
course.
one point. That's a very tough
Okay.
course. Yeah. I don't I don't know. I feel like really I don't know after that. I mean, who else are we really excited to see? You know what? I guess you got to state the obvious. I hope Xander Schauffele has some carryover, does the same thing this
Bro,
year.
I think this is,
That
and
guy
this,
has a swing.
so this is what's crazy. And what, this argument about, the PGA Tour not having the talent and the intriguing stories.
Agreed.
Like we went through a ton of people already and just totally forgot about two
A
major winner
two-time major winner,
who seems to have
possible player of the
found
year.
who found his stuff, man. Two
Yeah,
majors this year.
moves it
Um
both way off the tee. Tremendous putter,
and tough
long
conditions
hitter
in the
for 5'8".
right. Tough conditions in the open. I totally forgot about this man. So the
Won it going away.
the level of talent on the PGA Tour, again,
Still there.
I say this and I will not. The generation of folks that grew up aspiring to the PGA Tour is still there. We're still
Yeah,
in the midst of that generation. So there is still going to be a long hangover of talent that is grinding to play on the PGA Tour. And now that they've, gotten the purses up, the financial incentive is there.
yeah,
You don't necessarily, I think enough people have seen the negative impacts of going to live. We've seen how it's affected John Rahm negatively. And cool, he's got life changing money, but he looks more unhappy than he ever has.
right.
Um, and it's not like these guys on the PGA Tour are living, hand to mouth. They're doing just fine for themselves. As
Yeah,
Scotty, if he's doing okay. As
yeah,
Xander, if he's able to fill his refrigerator with food and buy fly private. I think they're doing okay.
yeah.
So I think the talent's deep, and we're seeing new players be developed. There's going to be a handful of guys that pop up that like a Jake Knapp that we did not know going into the season that separate themselves. So we're going to have some new names pop in here that we aren't even aware of, or that surprise us that have been kind of hanging on out there. So I'm excited about this season. This is actually the first season in a while that I've been super excited about. Um, we're not dealing with players being snatched from the PGA Tour and going over to live. That seems to be over, with one exception. Um, Tony Finau, I think, is the one kind of guy that
He can
the name,
go.
and I'm not even mad about it. I think Tony Finau has been underwhelming in his game, hadn't performed to his talent, you know?
Yeah,
The
I
dude's super
just
talented.
held on my fandom for him. He can win the 3M and the Detroit City backwoods open all he wants to. That's all good. Kudos to him. Kudos to Tony Female,
So
but
so if Tony can go get a get check somewhere, cool. Go do it.
yeah,
Um Ryder Cup
super.
feels so far out. It's not even there's so much stuff that we have to get through before we even get to the Ryder Cup. It's going to be
There's
a
so
hell of a
much.
it's going to be a hell of a 2025 golf season. So,
I
um
agree, Jack. I want Cam. I want Cam. I need to see Cam do something besides just have a cool ass swing.
Keegan being captain, Team Euro looking to repeat. And I think this is weird, but I think an underlying storyline of the Ryder Cup will be the Euros doing it for passion and the Americans now doing it for a check.
Yeah. Oh my God. The
So
articles, bro. The articles.
so
They're about to
if
come out.
if the Euros come out and whoop our ass on our soil, I mean
Give
you
the
can
checks
already
away.
you already know the second guessing will come immediately after that. So I don't
I
want to
mean,
beat a
how
dead
can you
horse.
not? I mean,
Go
but
ahead.
how can you not say I mean, if I'm Team Europe, we win, beat their ass. How can you not say was the money worth it or something grimy like that? You have to bring it up, and
You
it's gonna
have
be a
to.
bar. It's gonna be a bar every time.
Yeah.
Truly, even if it's just 200K, you getting pocketed because it's 400K, 200 going to your charity, 200 going in your pocket. Even if it's just for the 200K, was it worth it, brother?
Yeah.
Was it?
For all the stuff and discussions that we've had these last few years. All right, bro.
Have to take it
I'm
to a
not
vote, man.
we will. We'll see. But that's a long way out. We're beating a dead horse. We're rambling a little bit. Um anything else random you want to hit before we hop off?
Um, I'm just gonna put it up on the screen. I think we'll have to put this in the idea box. Just kind of like we'll have to do something about this. I think this is fun.
I'm already thinking about it. I'm thinking that this next week is going to be pretty dead. Um, that we line out all the majors, PGA, LPGA,
Yeah,
and then pre pick Ryder Cup teams, and then see how well our predictions do. What do you think?
I'm okay with that.
All right, that's the plan. Well, I'll set up some kind of bracket that we can go through, and
Cool.
yeah, we'll do that.
Awesome.
So
Other than that, no, the NBA was pretty dead this week. I'm excited for all of Wednesday basketball all day long. Um,
yeah, I don't have to travel for the first time in a long time for Christmas.
yeah.
I'm looking to couch rot. You know, kiddo's
Oh
got a
yeah.
pretty decent Christmas setup for herself. So, you know, it's
Good.
like we're gonna get to open presents at home for the first time in a long time. So I'm looking forward to that and seeing,
Good.
you know, some of the stuff for her. And yeah, I mean, this is, you know, in a weird year, I want to say this is probably the best Christmas that I'm gonna have in a long time. Even though me and you are not gonna do our usual Christmas Day match, but you know, again, I'm not having to get on the road, so I'm not mad at that.
Yeah, for sure. It's all good. Um,
So
Football on Netflix, by the way.
it's probably going to be a disaster.
It is. It's just like it's gonna be like Mike Tyson and Paul. More people, and they're gonna be. I mean, I don't even know how they're gonna get the streams up. Hopefully, they figured all that out.
Yeah,
Live football on Netflix. I don't know.
they hadn't been able to figure out boxing, a couple of other events live, so we'll see. But thanks y'all for joining us. We appreciate those that super chatted. We appreciate you, Wilson boys, for joining us.
All the
We appreciate
input
this.
and
We
the
appreciate this,
interaction.
the interaction, the support. Thank you for hanging with us for an hour. Um, you know, we're having fun. We love talking this stuff. Um,
And we're gonna keep
hopefully,
going.
hopefully our consistency has shown through. We're here every week, damn near, unless just logistically it is impossible. So, Bearder Bros Golf Show. Merry Christmas to you and yours. We'll catch y'all before the new year. I'm Rod.
And Marcus.
Peace out, y'all.